have a question for you. Have you ever had one of those moments where something just clicks and you can't go back to seeing life the same way? Not because something changed on the outside, but because something shifted inside of you. Like you suddenly realized, wait a second, what if this isn't happening the way I thought it was? That moment, that right there, that's where this begins. Because the truth is, most people are living their entire lives believing that things are happening to them. That life is just circumstances, luck, other people, or timing. And yes, sometimes it really does feel that way. It feels like you're doing your best, trying to figure things out, trying to move forward, and somehow you keep running into the same kind of situations. Same patterns, same frustrations, same emotions showing up in different forms. Different faces, same experiences. But at some point, you stop and you start asking questions. Why does this keep happening? Why do I always end up here? And why does it feel like I'm stuck in something I didn't choose? And nobody really gives you a real answer. You get the surface level advice all the time. Oh, just think positive. No, you got to work harder. Or stay motivated. But deep down, you know that's not it. Because trust me, if it was that simple, you wouldn't still be feeling this way, right? So let me say something. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but what if you actually sit with it? It has the power to change everything. Okay, here it is. You are not just experiencing your life. You are creating it. And I don't mean that in some abstract motivational way. I mean, everything you're living in right now, in some way, has been shaped through you. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotional patterns, and the way you see yourself, and the way you expect things to go. All of it is participating in what you're experiencing. Now listen, this is really important. This is not about blaming yourself, because the moment people hear this, off they go. Oh, so you're saying this is my fault. So I wanted to be poor. So I wanted to be abused. So I wanted to be a drunk. No, that's not what this is. This is about something much more honest and much more empowering. It's about authorship. Because if you're creating your reality, even unconsciously, then it means something most people never fully realize. Okay? And it's that you're not powerless. No, you're not. And you're not stuck. And your life is not just randomly unfolding without you. You've been involved the whole time. Maybe not consciously, but involved. And that changes everything. Because if something is created through you, that only means one thing. It can be changed through you. This is what I call the return. Not becoming someone new, not fixing yourself, not chasing a better version of life somewhere out there, but coming back to something you've never actually lost, your ability to create, your authorship. So let's talk about where this really begins. It starts with something super simple, but not easy, and that is seeing the truth. And the truth is, even the things you didn't mean to create, you were still involved in. That relationship you ended up in, that pattern that keeps repeating, that feeling that keeps showing up, it didn't just appear randomly. There was something in you that matched it. Something that resonated with it. And again, not consciously. Most of this happens below awareness, through beliefs you didn't choose, patterns you picked up early in life, and ways of thinking that just became automatic. And over time, they started running the show. You went on to autopilot. And that's what unconscious creation is. You're still creating nonetheless. You're just not aware that you are. And the moment you begin to see that, everything shifts. Because now, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You start asking, what inside me is creating this? That question is the beginning of real change. Not surface change, not temporary change, real change. But I'm not going to lie to you. This part, it's confronting because it removes the story that you're just a victim of everything. And a lot of people do like to play the victim card because as long as you're the victim, you don't have power. But the moment you step out of that, even a little bit, you realize something else is true at the same time. If you created it, you can change it. And that's where things start to open up. Now, once you start waking up to this, you begin to notice something else. Your life is constantly reflecting something back to you, right? The mirror stage. And I mean constantly. The way people show up in your life, the way situations unfold, the opportunities, the challenges. They're not just random events, they're feedback. They're showing you something. Your external reality is mirroring your internal state. And when you really start to see this, it becomes impossible to ignore. You start connecting the dots. You notice how certain beliefs create certain outcomes. You notice how certain emotions keep attracting same experiences. You notice how the way you see yourself shows up in how others treat you. And this applies to everything. Your relationships reflect what you believe about love, connection, and yourself. Your finances reflect your relationship with value, worth, and receiving. And your patterns reflect what's been running unconsciously in the background. And I know this can sound intense, but it's actually one of the most freeing realizations you can have. Because once you see your life as a mirror, you stop looking out there for answers and you start looking within. Not in a judgmental way, but in an aware way. Because here's the truth. You can't change something you refuse to see. But once you see it clearly, you're no longer stuck in it. You have awareness, and awareness is where your power begins. Our next stage, right? This is where things go deeper. Because once you start looking within, you realize something that most people never question. A lot of what you believe isn't actually yours. I'm going to say that again. A lot of what you believe isn't actually yours. The way you think about yourself, the limits you've accepted, the fears you carry, they were shaped before you even knew you had a choice. How were they shaped? They were shaped through your environment, through your upbringing, your experiences. And over time, they became your identity. You didn't even question them. You just lived from them. But here's the thing. You cannot create a new reality from an identity that was built unconsciously. It will always pull you back into the same patterns. So this stage is about reclaiming yourself, separating what is actually you from what was conditioned into you. And this isn't just mental. This lives in your body. Your nervous system holds on to patterns. Your emotions carry old stories. Your reactions are wired from the past. So this process takes honesty, awareness, and a willingness to let go of what no longer fits. And I know that's not always easy, because sometimes those patterns feel familiar, even when they're limiting. And this is where real transformation happens. Okay, it's not by adding more, it's by releasing what was never yours to begin with. And once you do that, something powerful starts to happen. You stop trying to control everything, and you start understanding how creation actually works. Okay, you realize it's not about forcing outcomes. It's not about pretending to feel something you don't. It's about who you are being. Because what you embody will always shape what you experience. Your energy, your state, your identity. That's what really responds to it. Not just your words, not just your intentions, but your actual frequency. And when those things align, when what you think, feel, and believe are all moving in the same direction, then that's when things start to shift. Naturally. Without force, without struggle, because you're no longer trying to create from the outside in. You're creating from the inside out. And that is authorship. Not something you reach in one day, but something you practice every day. in how you think, in how you respond, in how you show up. Okay? So if you've been feeling like something is off, like there's more to life than what you've been experiencing, you're not wrong. You're just starting to see. This framework that I've created, the return, is going to walk you through that process. Not in a complicated way, but in a real way, a grounded way, because you don't need more information. You just need awareness and the willingness to take your authorship back. Take your power back, people. Because you have always been creating. The only question is, were you doing it consciously or by default? This is the return. Welcome back.